Hi, this is Di, the bass playing mom, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips that'll make it easier for you to worship and play bass at the same time. So I play bass on my church's worship team, and I was at a workshop where someone raised their hand. They were a bass player and they wanted to know how could they engage in worship, be a example to the folks in the congregation, and concentrate on playing bass at the same time. It is a lot of moving parts, so I understand the question, but there are 3 tips that I'm going to give you today that'll help you to be able to do both things at the same time. You'll be playing bass and be worshiping and helping lead that congregation into worship, which really is the goal, right? It's not about us, it's not about showboating, it's about leading people to Jesus. And so you'll find this helpful. Also, those of you who play in another setting, I think these tips might actually be helpful even if you're just gigging at a local venue. Nobody wants to be bored with a band that doesn't interact with them. So these tips, though are created for a worship setting, I think would totally work just playing a gig out in town. And actually some of the lessons I've learned are from bands that I've just gone to see at venues, not at churches. Tip number 1 is to sing along. It is so easy to get your bass face on. And I get a bass face. I totally do when I'm playing. It's just kind of this frowny, kind of keeping the tempo, being in the pocket, playing with the drummer face. If you sing along with the song, suddenly you're part of the experience. You're part of what the people in the congregation or the audience are doing. They're singing, you're singing. It's an engaging thing. So singing along can make a huge difference. And a lot of bass players don't. When I post videos and they see that I'm singing along, they'll be like, oh, I need to do that. I mean, this was something we were actually directed to do. Like we had a pastor come to us and say, I need you to sing along. So we weren't all up there just, I mean, nobody wants to be part of an experience where everybody is just sad and depressed looking. Singing along goes a long way. Number 2, this piece of advice actually works really well right now. It was something I was doing involuntarily, but I'm recording this in April of 2021, and we are still wearing face masks when we perform. You cannot see me singing along. I know I'm singing along. Anyone who comes walking by who doesn't have in-ears in knows I'm singing along, but other than that, the people watching me have no idea. So my next piece of advice is to move your body. Now that comes naturally to some bass players because you're tapping your foot, right, to keep time. I would say that part of having stage presence is also your stance. And so you're gonna have that stance, you know, that you're engaged in this process. You know, like when you hit those low notes, you might, you know, down in there, but not just the stance. Like you want to actually move your body to the music. Now I'm not saying like Freaky Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis movements, but just maybe a stepping back and forth. I find if we're playing in 6/8, forward and backward works good, you know, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. That way I'm not doing this. But then, you know, in 4/4, just to maybe switch my weight back and forth a little bit. Now, obviously, walking all over the stage is going to engage the audience, getting up, singing with them, being right there. But if that's not appropriate in your setting, just a little movement goes a long way. And if your face is covered up, they know you're alive. You're not animatronic. Oh, do you remember the animatronic band at Chuck E. Cheese? Let them know that you're alive. That goes a long way. By moving, move your body. Let the people know that you're part of this. The 3rd tip is actually the best one, and it is really bass specific. And this is what I said when someone talked about playing bass and engaging in worship. Bass players don't come in at the top of a lot of songs. Now, mind you, that is a total mistake. That should not be done. But especially on ballads and slow songs, there is sometimes a long piano introduction or a acoustic guitar introduction. And on those slower songs, a lot of times the bass won't come in. Maybe we'll drop in at the chorus. sometimes doesn't drop in until the second verse. I have a song I'm playing this Sunday. I don't drop in till the third verse. That's a long time sitting out. Now, if you don't want to engage the people in front of you, you know, you can spend that time counting yourself in or looking around or watching what's going on. But if you spend that time as a worship bass player engaging in worship, you're helping the folks in the congregation to relax and engage in worship and be thinking about God too. So it is not unusual when I'm waiting to come in for me to lift a hand, raise a hand this way, raise a hand low. There's so many options. Try not to do what the singer right in front of you is doing. I don't want us to look like the YMCA song or something, but I kind of watch what's happening around me and I will engage in worship. I'll be singing that song. I'll be lifting my hand. I'll be lifting my voice. People know that I'm engaged in this process. I'm not just sitting waiting for my turn, my chance to showboat. I'm not a showboater, but it would be a funny idea. My chance, you know, where's that lick that I've been practicing all week? This is my chance to get my heart right and to get in tune with God. And that is during those intros and first ones where there's no bass part. I am sure if you were playing in another venue, this is a great opportunity as well to show that you care about what is going on in the song and that you're into it. That's only going to help the people that are watching you get into it too. Those are my 3 tips for bass players to engage in worship while playing bass at the same time. If you have any ideas, either from a worship setting or just playing in a venue, please leave them down below in the comments. I would love to read them. I have more videos I want you to watch right here. You can check them out, or down below where there's one that YouTube picked out just for you.